Hello, good afternoon, grade 9. So, once again, I'm here to teach you regarding the ketones and aldehydes. But before we proceed on that topic, let's watch this video to refresh your mind regarding alkane, alkenes, and alkynes. So it's a family thing. So to refresh your brain, your mind, let us watch this. But before I play that video, I want you to create a happy asynchronous day to all of you. Let's watch the video to refresh our mind, our brain.
Alkanes, they're driving me insane. All single bonded carbons joined together in a chain. CnH2n plus 2 is the formula we use. Methane, propane, and octane are good fuels to choose. Alkenes, their structure really screams. While sleeping August Kekule had double bonded dreams. If you have 5 carbons, H's will be 10. They undergo addition when you add a halogen. Alkynes, the molecules that shine. They have got a triple bond somewhere along their spine. They have 2 less H's than their alkene analogs. Some are used to make the toxin that's produced by frogs. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Hydrocarbon molecules that have some H and C. They form the basic building blocks that make both you and me. Without hydrocarbons, life just can't exist. If they were not with us, they would sure be missed.
Hey, where'd they go?
Alcohols have a hydroxyl group. And OH that is bonded to the chain, yeah, that's a scoop. It's covalent bonded, so the sucker's not a base. Methanol evaporates real quick and leaves no trace.
Hey, where'd you go?
If you have carboxyl group that's sticking out the end, then inorganic acid is what you have, my friend. If carboxyl group is in the middle of the chain, then you have an ester, the odor's pretty plain.
Phew!
If you have a carbonyl, a double bonded O, one end of the molecule, that's where it needs to go. Dead organic samples can be soaked in aldehyde. It's great for preservation, now just open wide. If the carbonyl is in the middle, not the end, a ketone's what you have, your fingernails you'll tend. They are good dissolvers of much non-polar stuff. 2-propanone is good for when the going's really rough.
Methyl ketone, that's my friend.
Amines and amides both have a nitrogen. Amines and an NH2 and crop up now and then. Amines also have a double bonded O. Now my song is over, it's time for me to go.
Bye-bye.
Hydrocarbon molecules that have some H and C. They form the basic building blocks that make both you and me. Without hydrocarbons, life just can't exist. If they were not with us, they would sure be missed.
I miss you.
Sometimes they have some other atoms dangling from the chain. Identify a family without a lot of pain. Find which group belongs to which organic family. Just open up your eyes and the world belongs to thee. It's a family thing.
All right, it's a family thing. All right, I think so. Na-refresh na yung mga utak ninyo regarding it's a family thing. Alkane, alkynes, and alkynes. Alkene, alkane, and alkynes. The carboxyl group, the alcohol group, and the other groups. So I think so na refresh na talaga yan. So let us proceed to the topic that we're going to discuss this afternoon, which is aldehydes and ketones. So aldehydes and ketones, kasama pa siya dito sa family ng carboxyl and other family we can discuss here. So let us discuss. Okay. Aldehydes and ketones. So, Toland's test, also known as silver mirror test, is a laboratory test used to distinguish between an aldehyde and a ketone. Toland test uses a reagent known as a Toland's reagent, which is the colorless basis aqueous solution containing silver ions coordinated to ammonia. From the experiment, you have an observed the reaction of aldehyde and ketones to Toland's gradient. You can do that in your house if you have a Toland's reagent to examine one thing. Aldehydes and ketones are organic compounds which incorporate a carbonyl functional group. So again, aldehydes and ketones uh, is a carbonyl functional family or in the group of carbonyl. So the carbon atoms of this group has two remaining bonds that may be occupied by hydrogen and alkyl substituent. If at least one of their substituent is a hydrogen, the compound is an aldehyde. If neither is a hydrogen, the compound is ketone. Okay, this is an aldehyde and the structure of ketone. This can be hydrogen or a carbon group. So for the aldehyde, aldehydes have a hydrogen attached to the carbon, double banded to the oxygen, and for a ketone, this must both be hydrocarbon group, for example, alkyl group. So the properties of aldehyde and ketone. So one of the properties of this is the solubility. So aldehyde and ketone are soluble in water, but their solubility decrease with increase in the length of the chain. Methanol, ethanol, and propanol are those aldehydes and ketone which are a small size and are miscible with water in almost all proportions. Aldehydes and ketones are commonly used in fragrances. They are often mixed with water to lessen concentration. Next properties is the boiling point properties. The boiling point of any organic compound increase with increase in molecular weight. Additionally, the strength of intermolecular forces is also responsible for the boiling points of aldehydes and ketone. However, the boiling points of these organic compounds are higher in comparison to hydrocarbon having nearly similar molecular masses. So the reason for such behavior in the weak molecular association of this compound occurring due to the dipole or dipole interactions. Similarly, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are lower than alcohol of nearly same molecular masses. The reason is the lack of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So this is the table of the two properties, which is the molecular mass and for boiling point or the solubility of each atoms. Okay, so refer to the table below to note the arrangement of boiling points in the increasing order of the compound having molecular masses of 50 to 60. So that is the table. So to elaborate, we have the formaldehyde, or we use that to retain the freshness of one organism. The best example of that is that we use it to preserve the organism inside the bottle or uh, to preserve one organism. We use it to preserve the body of one man, like for example of that. So formaldehyde is the use of pressed wood products such as a particle board, plywood, and fiberboard, glue sand, adhesive permanent press, fabric, paper product, coating, and certain insulation materials. And also from the word formaldehyde, formalin, that is an example of formaldehyde. So formaldehyde is used, yeah, as I said before, commonly used in the production of formalin. It is the aqueous water solution with the formaldehyde. Formalin is used for preservation of biological specimen and embalming, which in is funeral customs of treating human remains to delay their decompositions. Next one is the aromatic aldehyde. The aromatic aldehyde have a very pleasant flavor. So we have there a benzaldehyde has the characteristic odor of almonds. The vanillin is responsible for the flavor of vanilla. Next is the semialdehyde, makes an important contribution to the flavor of cinnamons. For common ketones, acetone is the best example. It's an excellent solvent for a number of plastics and synthetic fiber. It is also used as nail paint remover and paint thinner. Next is the cyclohexanone, is primarily used in production of nylon. In this lesson, you learn another class of organic compound, which aldehydes and ketone. You also learned how formalin was used to preserve biological specimen, but why is there a need to still preserve this specimen? So, biological specimens in a living organism or its parts preserved for scientific use. Various use are to verify the identity of species, to allow study, increase public knowledge of biology. Biological experiments or specimens, rather, are extremely diverse. Example are birds and mammals study skin. Mounted specimen, skeletal material cast in the insect, dried materials, animal preserved, and liquid preservatives and microscope slides. Natural history museum and biological laboratories are repositories of biological specimen. One of the most common preservative use is formalin. So the usage of this is it used for the vegetable vertebrates only. It is avoid for long-term storage since it is acidic and difficult to handle. Most formalin is used where color is important since alcohol dissolves most color almost immediately. In penetrate more rapidly in internal organs remains in better conditions. This is the procedure and dilution of formalin. And how to mix the process, how to use this. Also, we have a warning when we are using formalin. Inhalation of formalin fumes is harmful and causes extreme discomfort to nose and eyes. Also, contact with fluids causes severe irritation to the skin. Contact with sore or raw spots results in extreme pain. It is carcinogen and should be rinsed after usage. And how to storage this. Professor Besson of specimen. It's important that biologists has given them more time to study and identify the species of the specimen. Who knows? You might become a biologist too, right? So that is regarding the aldehydes and the ketone. They use the example, the different example, and what is used and what is important of aldehydes and ketones in our um, everyday life. Okay. So that's it for today. I hope this video will help you to answer the activity that I've given to you in our platform or the platform that we use, which is in Mono. All right. That's all. Again, I'm Teacher Renzo. God bless you. Goodbye. And I love you so much.